today we're going to do something different. I was scrolling on TikTok and I realized that thousands of people each day go live to share their opinions on religion, have friendly debates, and preach their own ideology. So today I thought I'd give 30 minutes of my time to join some of these lives and engage in the discussion. We met a lot of interesting people.
Just asking stuff that you don't understand.
Okay, fair enough. He booted me out the live. Had a lot of interesting conversations.
Just not really convinced of any of the evidence for like a god.
Let's roll the clips. Okay, so I want to join about 2 lives because I have around 30 minutes. Okay, yeah, this one seems really interesting. Let's make a request. Hey man, how you doing?
Yeah, greetings. How are you, brother?
I'm very well, thank you. I have a question for you regarding the first prompt on the screen. If I were to accept another route to heaven other than Jesus, other than Christianity, would I be going to hell?
Come again?
If I accepted another God, would I be going to hell?
If you accepted as a god, you will get help.
Can I translate quickly? He's asking wena kumkani ndobana if angavuma omnye uThixo ongenguye uJesus.
Oh yes. Yeah. 100%.
So I just want you to imagine a hypothetical now of someone in a remote country or even a remote tribal region with no access to the Gospels, no access to the teachings of Jesus, no access to preachers or evangelists. Would they still be going to hell?
If they reject the gospel, yes.
So if they haven't heard the teachings of Jesus, they would still be going to hell.
According to the plan of God, there is no way that they cannot hear the gospel.
But I'm asking you to imagine a completely remote tribal region in the middle of nowhere, no access to the internet.
So there's no one that they don't know that Jesus is God, but they refuse that Jesus is
Do you
God.
think everyone in the world has heard of Jesus?
No, Jesus is God,
Yes.
but they refuse because they want to follow their religion.
Everyone in the world has heard of Jesus.
Yes,
No.
every person.
No, not
Every
every
person.
person.
If I might ask you,
A few moments later.
I'm asking you a question. Are you no man?
But
that
we're changing the
you
topic.
are I'm saying people, they act like they don't know, but they don't want to accept that Jesus is
I
God.
think Christianity is one route to God, but there are other routes to God as well, other valid routes to God.
My brother. According to the scriptures, you're gonna see what I'm saying, my brother. Even Jesus know the people before. God know people before creation. That
God-
this one is gonna worship me. This one is gonna follow me, and He give to Jesus all of those people.
But how did he decide? If this concept of God is just, then how did he decide?
My brother, if you had people saying Jesus is God and you refuse and you think that everyone is gonna be like you, don't think like that.
Okay, let me give you 2 hypothetical versions of God now. The first hypothetical God, because I think we can all agree that God is just and God is all powerful, right? He's omnipotent. So on this notion, I want to give you 2 hypothetical versions of God. The first version of God, hypothetical A, this God has many accessible routes to him. There are many ways you can access him, right? Not just one specific way. Hypothetical God B, there is only one specific route to him, only one way we can access him. Which hypothetical God is more just and more powerful?
John chapter 14 verse 6, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
I don't want you to argue from scripture. I want you to step aside from your religion for a second. Logically, I'm asking you which God is more powerful, the one with multiple paths to him, multiple routes, or just one single route to him? Which one
Only
is more
one
powerful?
path
Which one is
that
more
God.
just? You would say that the God with only one path is more powerful? Can you explain that to me? How did you get to that conclusion?
My brother, let me tell you something. Christianity came with the Roman Catholic. Christians came with the believers.
I just want you to answer the question, my friend. That's it. I just want you to answer the question.
Even you can try to come with a lot of things and you ask, Jesus is the only God that you must know.
You haven't given me a successful answer to my question.
Chapter, listen, that's the thing of you don't want to listen, you just come with your own stuff. John chapter 14 verse 9, verse 8 and 9, Peter is asking, can you show us the Father? Jesus is answering him, how long I have been with you, Peter, and now still you don't know me. So Jesus is God. So
Look, you're trying to argue for your beliefs by using your beliefs. Do you see the problem with that? It's circular.
Do you read the Bible?
I have read passages of the Bible, yes.
Some. You read some passages.
Listen. I just want you to step away from religion to answer the question.
Hey, Kwawe, Wenaman, you are just asking stuff that you don't understand.
Okay, fair enough. He just booted me out the live. He did not want to have it. Okay, I'll join one more. I just want a chill conversation now after that. That was actually pretty draining, to be honest. This guy seems interesting.
Yeah, no, like, I'm just not really convinced of any of the evidence for, like, a God at all, really.
So you're saying because we can't really prove God, we shouldn't place our faith in God? Is that what you're saying?
No, not necessarily. I mean, if God exists, then, yeah, you could prove him, like, there's arguments, like, philosophically where, you know what I mean, you could say that they could be possibly evidence for a God. Me and you could be evidence for a God if God does exist, but I'm just not convinced, really, out of the various argumentations and lines of reasoning that people use and certain types of evidence that they bring up, like, I don't know, like their scripture and stuff like that. I'm just not really convinced by those things.
Yeah, I can understand that perspective. I think I will say, though, you can't definitively prove anything to be 100% true, apart from the cogito, which is our own conscious experience. Now, let me explain this to you using the example of parental love, let's say. In everyday usage of phrases, I would say that my mom loves me, right? But do I know this for 100% truth? I don't think I could say I know this 100% because there's a possibility for it to be wrong. In my mind, I can actually doubt this. So, although it's probably 99% true, I don't know it 100% to be true. That goes the same for a lot of truths in this world, apart from the fact that we exist and we are existing. That cannot be doubted. My point is we can't prove a lot of things. So, essentially, you want to take a leap of faith in the more existentially fulfilling idea. So I want to give you two hypothetical responses as to why suffering occurs, let's say. Let's take option one. Suffering exists and suffering is meaningless, right? There is no God, there is no telos behind this suffering. For example, a child dying in the middle of nowhere has no purpose to it. There's no reason why it's happening. It's all just random. It's an atheistic kind of point of view that entails there's no God. And you have option B. Suffering is designed for a reason. There is a reason why this child in the middle of nowhere is suffering, and God is governing our world, and the rules and regulations that allow this suffering to happen have all been considered by God and is all in the greater plan of God. Which one is more existentially fulfilling? Which option would you like to place your faith in?
I mean, I don't know if that's a true dichotomy, though. But I mean, if it is the dichotomy, right? Then I would say fulfillment would probably lie with the God proposition. But it depends what fulfills you on a subjective level.
Sure. Yeah, no, I agree. And because we can't prove anything bar the cogito, it's then up to us to place our faith in the more beautiful, more existentially fulfilling idea, which in this case is God. And you can argue this is subjective, but I think many people is more existentially fulfilling. And so another point that I want to make is the biggest proof for God's existence comes from experience. So you have to therefore take a leap of faith and try and really dedicate yourself to scripture and learning more about your certain religion or certain faith that you've partaken in. And you will genuinely see changes in your life, which will come to show as proof for God, if that makes sense.
I mean, well, this is why I say it's very subjective, right? Because what does it mean for God to exist, right? If we're already kind of like examining the fact that like suffering exists, right? And there's no like kind of like clear self-evident purpose other than like us trying to derive one possibly from the existence of a God, then I don't really know if that is effective. You know what I mean? Because what if it's the case that the God does exist, but he's just an evil being?
I guess we just have to trust scripture. Like if scripture says following X, Y, Z would give you X, Y, Z results, then there is some validity in that scripture, right? So then if some of that scripture is valid, why can't all of it be valid, including what it details about our creator? I think it just boils down to trust in scripture. Again, you can argue that all of this is subjective in terms of which is the most existentially fulfilling idea. And some people may want to find meaning or purpose through their own ways that don't involve God, but I think they would struggle in that. And I would like to have more time or maybe another conversation with you in the near future about why they may struggle with this. But I've got to go, so thank you for the conversation. I really appreciate it.
No worries, man.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty good. 2 conversations. The first one was a little bit ratty. I'd say I proved them wrong in the first one. Second conversation, I didn't really try and go aggressive in proving a point towards him, and that's the point of a lot of these discussions that I want to have. I don't want to take an aggressive point of view. I just really want to debate with people in a friendly way and have great conversations with them, share my opinion, hear their opinions. But yeah, today was really good. If you guys want to see more of this, let me know in the comments down below. I will be posting more long form videos at some point. TikTok is blowing up, guys. We're nearly around, I think we're around 7.5k followers. We wanted to get to 10k this summer. So if you guys haven't followed on TikTok, I'd really appreciate you guys go and check out the page. I've linked it in the description below. And we need to build a community on YouTube, I would say. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel and this was your first video of the Logos project, please subscribe. We've got some exciting content coming up in the summer and I can't wait for you guys to indulge in that content. Instagram, linked in bio as well. We're kind of growing on there as well. But I really appreciate everyone's support across the 3 platforms so far. Can't wait to share more content with you. Until then, I'll see you soon.